All right, so I want to officially welcome everybody to our 3 ways to rewire your mindset class. And I'm going to share my screen. In fact, because I live in, why is this? Oh, here it is. Because I live in a rural community, my internet isn't always great. So if you see me shut my video off, that is why I get a better reception. So if this is where you want it to be, then you're in the right spot. So, come on. All right. And slideshow. And from the current slide. All right. So I always like to start with an icebreaker question. What has taken you the longest to get good or decent at? What type of skill or talent? If I had to say anything, I would have to say sewing. I'm decent at sewing, especially mending. How about anybody else?
So you were asking us what's taken the longest to get good at?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Well, I'm not good at it yet, but I'm still working really hard at communication with horses.
Oh,
Oh,
that would
that's
be
nice.
that would be amazing. Yeah. Now that you say that, I feel like that with my grandchildren.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Uh,
Yeah.
so so the question is what's
What
taken us
has
the longest?
to get good or decent at?
Oh, going through all the paperwork I have in my office.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
haven't gotten good at that at all because every paper
yeah.
I see, I have to read it and I say, oh, this is good. How can I get rid of it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
How can I get rid of it? I'm very good at giving away books and eating them 2 weeks later, so I don't touch that anymore.
yeah. I hear you.
Yeah. Like fixing up the paperwork at my offices.
Yeah,
Yep,
decluttering.
that's right.
That is definitely something I'm continuing to try to be good at.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and getting your phone fixed.
Getting what?
Getting your phone fixed.
Well, actually, this is my iPad, but yes.
Oh, because I just remembered you having to stretch it out the last time we talked, because you said there was something
Yeah,
that
it's
was,
like the facing of the iPad is coming away from the body of it. And the
yeah,
only way I can get the little picture hole to work is to hold it tightly like that. I tried to find something. Tape doesn't work. It doesn't stay.
yeah. Well, I am glad you're here no matter what.
Yeah.
So
There we are for a minute until my fingers get tired. I'll
tired.
leave.
Yep. Well, then you just let your fingers relax while we're having this conversation in the
Oh yeah.
slideshow. And
Yeah.
so for those of you who may be listening to the recording or here, if you don't know me overly well, I am an alchemical herbalist and a functional nutrition coach. I have a passion for helping people who are bone-sucking tired from taking care of others instead of themselves. I have many certifications and things like that, but that's the short picture. So while we're here, if you could silence your phones, commit to being fully present in this moment, and you can have a notebook and pen ready to take notes if that comes up. It is my intention to show you 2 types of mindsets, how they form, their impact on your life, and how you can change your mindset. And there will be a time of Q&A after the presentation. If you have a burning question, though, feel free to ask it during the class. So mindset is everything. And why is this? There we go. That's what I want. Mind over matter isn't just that phrase you might repeat to yourself when you're trying to live to that personal record at the gym. It has a real impact on every area of your life. Just the way your mind is set makes a difference in how you think, feel, and act each day. But if you're stuck in a rut and struggling to get things back in line, learning how to rewire your mindset can make a big difference. That rewiring won't always be easy, but it will be worth it. When you're able to rewire your mindset and move beyond the old ways of thinking and feeling, you learn, grow, and develop every area of your life. So what is mindset anyway? Your thoughts, feelings, and emotions all feel like they have this massive impact on your day. They may take you from a happy-go-lucky kid to someone who's down in the dumps, all in the space of a heartbeat. A mindset goes deeper than just those arbitrary thoughts and feelings. Mindset is all about a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. This is the root of and influences how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation or encounter you have in life. What you believe in these mindsets is what pushes you to achieve things and what you even want on a daily basis. Your mindset is the main push you need to achieve success. It means that what you believe about yourself impacts your success or failure. Mindsets can influence how people behave in a wide range of situations in life. For example, as people encounter different situations, their mind triggers a specific mindset that then directly impacts their behavior in that situation. According to Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck, your beliefs play a pivotal role in what you want and whether you achieve it. So your mindset is like the floor of a hotel. All your actions are then rooms on that floor and are influenced by where they're at on the floor itself. Each action stems from a mindset. So, oops. Let's see who this. I'm just going to mute you there. There we go. Oops. So Dweck describes two basic mindsets, fixed and growth. If you have a fixed mindset, you believe your abilities are fixed traits and therefore can't be changed. You might also believe that your talent and intelligence alone lead to success and effort is not required. Fixed mindset is about believing that your mindset is stuck in the same space and focus it's always been. There's no changing it and no adapting things going forward. Fixed mindsets are that shrug of shoulders and the saying, well, there's nothing we can do about it. Many people find themselves stuck in a cycle of fixed mindset that leaves them feeling hopeless and completely out of control of their own lives. On the flip side, if you have a growth mindset, you believe your talents and abilities can be developed over time through effort and persistence. People with this mindset don't necessarily believe that anyone can become Einstein or Mozart, but that everyone can get smarter or more talented if they work at it. People with this mindset are not stagnant, but rather feel you can continue to grow as you age and become wiser through the years. You start with a set of inherent abilities and talents, but through effort and dedication, those can be built up into something even greater than when you started. Rather than just shrugging your shoulders saying what will be, you dig in, start learning and growing, and create new abilities where none existed in the past. It might not mean that you'll become a genius overnight, but it does mean that you have the ability to keep growing even as you get older. So here are some fixed versus growth mindset examples. Fixed mindset, either I'm good at it or I'm not. The growth mindset says, I can learn to do anything I want. The fixed mindset says, that's just who I am. I can't change it. The growth mindset says, I am a constantly evolving work in progress. The fixed mindset says, if you have to work hard, that means you don't have the ability. The growth mindset says, the more you challenge yourself, the smarter you become. The fixed mindset says, if I don't try, then I won't fail. The growth mindset says, I only fail when I stop trying. The fixed mindset says that job position is totally out of my league. The growth mindset says that job position looks challenging. Let me apply for it. So So how is your mindset created in the first place? Dweck's research reveals two primary sources, praising and labeling, both of which occur in early childhood. In a landmark series of experiments, Dweck and her colleagues found that kids behaved very differently depending on the type of praise they received. They found that personal praise, or praising a child's talents, or labeling them as smart, promotes a fixed mindset. It sends a message to a child that they either have an ability or they don't, and that there is nothing they can do to change that fact. Process praise, on the other hand, emphasizes the effort that a person puts in to accomplish a task. It implies their success is due to the effort and the strategy they used, both of which they can control and improve over time. So here's an example of how they're different. If your child gets a good grade on a math test, personal praise might be, see, you are good at math. You got an A on your test. Process praise, on the other hand, might sound like this. I'm impressed by how hard you studied for your math test. You read the material over several times, asked your teacher to help you figure out the tricky problems, and tested yourself on it. That really worked. Adults can take steps to ensure that their children develop growth mindsets by praising efforts, not results, by focusing on the process rather than the outcome. Adults can help kids understand that their efforts, hard work, and dedication can lead to change, learning, and growth both now and in the future. So I've taken to saying to people when they have a good result, whether it's grades or something they're working on, whether their health, their house, their yard, whatever, I'll say, what is it we say? Good job, or, whatever. And I'll say, great job on your efforts. So we're not just praising the result, we're praising and noticing the work that went into it. So labeling, which involves assigning people characteristics based on stereotypes or associations with different groups, can also lead to the development of fixed or growth mindsets. A person who holds a stereotype that girls are bad at math or that boys are bad at reading may form a fixed mindset about their own abilities in those specific domains. For example, researchers have found that just having students check boxes about sex and race was enough to invoke internalized stereotypes that affected test performance. So let's talk about this impact of mindset. Your mindset plays a critical role in how you cope with life's challenges. When a child has a growth mindset, they tend to have a hunger for learning and a desire to work hard and discover new things. This often translates into academic achievement. As adults, these same people are more likely to persevere in the face of setbacks. Instead of throwing in the towel, adults with a growth mindset view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. So, on the other hand, those with fixed mindsets are more likely to give up in the face of challenging circumstances. In her book, Mindset, The New Psychology of Success, Dweck writes that those with fixed mindsets are constantly seeking the validation to prove their worth, not just to others, but also to themselves. She says, and I quote, "I've seen so many people with this one consuming goal of," so I'm going to go back to that. She says, and I quote, "I've seen so many people with this one consuming goal of proving themselves in the classroom, in their careers, and in their relationships. Every situation calls for a confirmation of their intelligence, personally or their character. Every situation is evaluated. Will I succeed or fail? Will I look smart or dumb? Will I be accepted or rejected? Will I feel like a winner or a loser?" So we're going to do a little quiz here to say, what is your mindset? Do you have a fixed or growth mindset? So to find out, start by reading the following statements and decide which ones you agree with most. So number 1, you're born with a certain amount of intelligence and it isn't something that can be changed. Number 2, no matter who you are, there isn't much you can do to improve your basic abilities and personality. Number 3, people are capable of changing who they are. Number 4, you can learn new things and improve your intelligence. Number 5, people either have particular talents or they don't. You can't just acquire talents for things like music, writing, art, or athletics. And number 6, Studying, working hard, and practicing new skills are all ways to develop new talents and abilities. So, if you tend to agree with most statements, agree most with statements 1, 2, and 5, then you probably have a more fixed mindset. If you agree most with statements 3, 4, and 6, however, then you probably tend to have a growth mindset. So you can type in the chat which area you're doing, and we'll look at that in a little bit. So I know the guidebook was 3 ways to rewire your mindset, but because you're here with me in class or listening to the recording, I'm going to share some more ways that you can rewire your mindset. While people with a fixed mindset might not agree, Dweck suggests that people are capable of changing their mindset. So here's how. Intentionally taking time to reflect without judgment is the key to a successful, oh, did I, my mindset's asking me to do this. All right. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So intentionally taking time to reflect without judgment is the key to a successful nighttime routine. I know I messed up here. Yes, I did. I did. Ha! I am making new neural pathways here. There we go. Ha! Now we're back on. Now we're, what is that? Now we're cooking with gas. There are always going to be a million ways to change your mindset and develop the way you think and act. So these 3 and more ways to rewire your mindset are some of the most common and some of the best ways to incorporate the focus of a growth mindset and completely change your way of thinking and acting. There we go. So create intentional routines. Routines can be the making or breaking point for any mindset. If you're stuck in a routine that doesn't mean anything, you might end up thinking or being stuck in the mindset that keeps you locked in place. I know I've done this. I go online and I look to see what routines people are using and then try to apply that to myself. And it might work for a week or 2, but because it wasn't intentional for me, I end up abandoning it. An intentional routine incorporates many different aspects of a growth mindset and keeps your focus on the big things in life. Your morning and evening routines are some of the most important times of the day. I like to look at them as bookends. So before you even begin to think and act, your morning is a blank slate that you can write your success on. Evening routines are the point of your day where you get to unwind and think about all the things that have happened in between. Reflection gives you a renewed focus on what you can change and develop in your own mindset. So the intentional morning routine is all about giving you a clean slate to work from throughout the day. Start by feeding your body breakfast and taking time to cook breakfast or make something simple gives your brain fuel to get through the morning. In many of the different trainings I've done, they say you should have some type of protein within an hour of waking up. I am a breakfast person. And then write down your intentions for the day so you have a clear view of what you plan to do. These can go beyond just a to-do list and then dig deep into what you plan to focus on. So pick big intentions and small tasks to go on your list in the morning. Your evening routines. This is your time to reflect on everything that's happened to you and all the things you've done during the day. Intentionally taking time to reflect without judgment is the key to a successful nighttime routine. In the evening, you can journal, meditate, and just think about the things you've completed. And so use this time in the evening to think about what you've learned and set some intentions for the next day or period of time. Unwind and let your mind and body relax during this time. Intentional evening routines will let you create space for the next big thing. When your mind can't relax and rest, you're better able to focus on the growth you need to accomplish during the next task you encounter. I will tell you, if I'm not feeling it, like if nothing is coming to mind and I feel stuck in what my intentions should be, I do movement. It might be yoga. It might be a little dancing. I might go for a walk, but that will also move the energy for me to feel into my intentions. Mindset is what dictates each aspect of your actions, thoughts, and feelings throughout the day. Priorities guide your mindset and showcase what you really desire from life. Learning how to set your priorities can completely change and rewire your mindset. Priorities can range from the short term to the long term, but they guide your mindset and, in turn, your actions. Realizing the difference between your short-term and long-term priorities can guide you in your growth mindset and how you want to change things and rewire them for your whole life. So, short-term priorities. You want to accomplish these things within the next few hours, days, or even weeks. They might be simple, like taking more time for self-care or spending extra time with friends and family. Short-term priorities are often more like a to-do list, but showcase where you're learning and growing. So, like we were talking before we actually got into the class, people in Florida, their short-term priorities are going to be, what can I do without electricity or technology? What can I do to clean up? So those are important short-term priorities before they get into their long-term priorities. If your short-term priorities revolve around spending more time with the people you love, you might start working and growing on making more meaningful connections. If those same short-term priorities are focused on finding more time for self-care each day, your bigger priorities might start focusing on creating growth in your daily balance. Accomplishing those short-term priorities and putting the focus on them as you grow lets your mind stretch, and you can celebrate the little things before moving on to the big things. So long-term priorities. These are those big things you want to accomplish in your life, and they will be supported and reflected in your priorities and mindset. A growth mindset is all about putting in the effort to match your natural talents and abilities to grow and learn. And nothing pushes you to grow and learn like those long-term priorities. These are things that are going to take time. It won't be easy to accomplish these and they're going to take a lot of time and effort to do them justice. When you set your long-term priorities, it's all about looking forward and finding things to focus on so you can create small steps to reach your goals. This might be something that's going to take months, if not years, to accomplish, and you're working toward. Something this big shouldn't be as simple as spend more time with family. So as you set your long-term priorities, your mindset will focus and shape your actions to follow along with it. Keep these long-term priorities in mind as you grow through each day and focus each day's tasks on those long-term goals. Mindset is expressed in your actions, but set in your inner voice. Learning how to change your inner voice and challenge your negative thoughts is key to rewiring your mindset in total. So instead of listening to the constant nagging that can happen when you're stuck in a fixed mindset, changing your voice is the best way to rise above and keep growing. Changing and adapting your inner voice takes a lot of patience. After all, changing your biggest influence isn't going to be something you accomplish overnight. And listen to your inner voice. As you slow down and listen to this voice, you can ask yourself, who is this that's saying this? Is this really me? Or am I hearing the voice of a parent, a teacher, a friend, that you're reflecting that inner voice that you're listening to? And when you challenge your negative thoughts, it isn't to say those thoughts are bad. It's to say, really, is that the truth of what's really happening here? We have this tendency, and I'm using these words because we commonly use them, but we judge ourselves by saying this mindset or this thought is good or bad, it's negative or positive. It just is. It's the energy of that emotion that's coming through. So as you listen to it, go, wow, is that really the truth? I know how I feel. I don't feel so good when I hear that part of my voice. Is that real? So much of what we say to ourselves, especially when we're caught in a cycle of fixed mindsets, tends to be negative. Switching to positive affirmations overrides the thoughts that might be swirling around in your head. Positive affirmations don't have to do with your talents and abilities. And instead, it's all about who you are and what you can accomplish. Since these affirmations are designed to be unique, they are something that you must create for yourself. Focus on the things that you can control or who you are as a person. Some simple positive affirmations might be, I am unique and loved. Or I have the ability to be whatever I want. Or I can change my future. But you choose them. You can look at what other people write down and go, I like that. Or, that just doesn't seem to ring true for me. So, for example, I said, I am unique and loved. And you might be feeling internally like a shrinking back or a cringing and going, loved? Huh. So stick with, I am unique until someday maybe you have that, I feel loved. Negative thoughts have a tendency to seep into every area of our lives, from work to even the closest friendships and relationships we have and hold dear. So take a moment to pay attention to your words and thoughts. Which ones might be holding you back? Which ones might be too negative? And which are keeping you from adhering to your new growth mindset? As you isolate each negative thought, the goal is to take it captive and focus on getting to the root of the problem. Follow these back to the cause within your mind and come to peace with what's creating the issue. Replace negative thoughts with more positive ones to build the growth mindset. This doesn't mean that you have to constantly be over the top, happy-go-lucky. All this does is help you find that thought, that negative thought that might be holding you back, and let you focus on overcoming them. So think about any of the thoughts in your head, in your body, how they feel. And you know you have a goal of, let's say we've talked about cleaning our clutter. And so we have this goal of wanting to clutter or to declutter. And we listen to that thought that comes up, that feeling that comes up within our body when we say, I'm going to clean this countertop. And you might hear this voice going, sure you are. How many times have you done that? And you just listen to that going, yeah, you're right. I have said that. But listen, whose voice is that? Is that yours? And then ask that voice, why do you feel that way? Where is this coming from? Because there's always a story underneath there that's bringing you to this place. And just be with it, follow it. Because sometimes there is something within that voice it wants to share with you. There's some story that is protecting you. You know, maybe having a mess is a form of protection. And so just be with it. Don't judge it. Just say, yep, I hear you. My actions haven't shown that I'm good at decluttering, but I really want to do that. So you can move forward with decluttering while working with this voice. If you're struggling with the task, remind yourself that you just haven't mastered it yet. Integrating this word into your vocabulary signals that despite any struggles, you can overcome anything. Negative thoughts and feelings have a tendency to put you into this whirlpool or a constant hamster wheel that never stops spinning. The constant wave after wave of those thoughts leaves you spinning. Breaking the cycle of the constant inner thoughts that spin but never gain ground requires getting an outside perspective. Instead of letting the inner thoughts and feelings run rampant, break the cycle by reaching out to friends and family who can speak the truth. The negative thoughts and feelings are suddenly open to a new perspective. When it's too difficult to shake off all those negative emotions on your own, those friends and family break in and reassert the truth. Your inner voice dictates much of your mindset. Negative self-talk can change the way you view yourself in a hurry. It does not have to take a long time. It can happen in an instant. Instead of seeing yourself growing, changing, and adapting as time goes on, that negative self-talk can keep you locked in a mindset that continues to put you back into that troubled state. As you improve the way your inner voice works and what you focus on, you'll start to see a change in your mindset. What might have seemed completely impossible when you were focused on the negative suddenly seems possible and doable when you switch to the positive. Not only will you start to see changes in your mental and emotional well-being, but you'll see it in your physical too. Hitting the gym and getting active is no longer a chore, and you're better able to tackle every challenge you're thrown at throughout the days, weeks, months, and even years going forward. An important factor when building a growth mindset is seeing the value in your journey. When you're fixated on the end result, you'll miss out on all the things you could be learning along the way. There is an energy of its own in the transition. I love to dance. I've done ballroom dancing for years. And there is an energy from the time you pick up your foot before you put your foot back down. It has its own place within the dance, and it's the same thing with your life. As you step out, each place along the way has its own purpose and energy. Making mistakes is one of the best ways to learn. So it's instead of shying away from challenges, embrace them. They are not mistakes. They're the ways you learn. Thank them for showing you a different way to do things. So, my final thoughts. Rewiring your mindset requires some serious effort and concentration. While it's not something you'll accomplish overnight, there are many small things you can do to rewire your mindset and create something totally new. Changing up your mindset starts with evaluating what areas you want to see move from a fixed to a growth mindset. The first focus is creating intentional routines that can guide your progress toward your goals and new mindset. In addition to creating those intentional mindsets, you want to ensure you're creating both short-term and long-term goals focused on building your mindset. These aren't just to-do lists, but act as guidelines for creating a new mindset and focus. Changing your inner voice is one of the last steps towards rewiring your mindset and creating something totally new. Negative thoughts and emotions are far too easy to fall prey to when you don't have any outside perspectives or struggle with the cycle of negative self-talk. Rewiring your mindset isn't something that happens overnight, but it is worth the effort it takes. No good things come without some struggle and hard work. Rewiring your mindset is one of them. Changing that mindset and focusing on a different area of your life. Today is the day that you take back and rewire your mindset. So, I want to thank you for being here with me. This is how you can contact me. If you have any questions or thoughts, lynn.deboer.johnson@gmail.com. My website is feedingyourhealth.com. Some of it is still under work, so don't be surprised if some of it doesn't show up, but I have great blog posts. I have a Facebook group called Sage Wisdom. And if you go to my website, on the bottom, you'll see this part here that says you can schedule your free consultation. And thank you. So, yeah, good. Good job. Welcome, Laurel. Oh, looks like she left. Nope, there she is. I see her now. All right, you are all free to open your cameras. Oh, I should open mine too, huh? All right. You can open your cameras, open your mics, whatever you want to do. Are there any questions, any thoughts that came up for you as we went through this? One of the things I didn't mention in my introduction especially is I'm a certified trauma energetics coach. I'm also the dean of students for a trauma energetics coaching program in a school called Somagetics. And some of this comes from what I've learned there. So let's see.
Well, thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome. Oh, Beatrice, did Beatrice have to go? No? Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
she's
see.
not on here.
Okay. Oh, Diane had to leave too. All right. So Laurel, you are free to, if you are able to start your video, share questions, anything that came up for you. Okay.
Years ago, I read a book on self-talk. I forget the guy's name, Shad Homesteader. I'm making this up. It's something like that.
Okay.
And I was on his mailing list for a long time, and might be worth going back and revisiting that.
Right? Yeah, self-talk is so important. And it's listening. It's just listening to that voice, being curious about it. The first step is an awareness that the voice is even there, that the mind, that you have this mindset about yourself. So you become aware of it and then you be curious. Because again, we have this tendency to judge ourselves. It's like, oh, really? I think that way? What a terrible person am I? And it's like, no, look at that. I am thinking that. And just ask yourself. I thought I heard someone want to say something. Oh, you're having technical difficulties. Okay. If you want, if you can type in the chat, if you have a question, Laurel, please feel free to do that. But that's a really important thing, is to listen to the voice, to hear it, to feel it. Because we get in our head a lot with all of this, and we hear these voices and the thoughts and everything. But then taking that and bringing it into our body, how does that feel when I hear that voice? What does that feel like? Where do I feel it? What does my breath become like when I hear that inner voice? That is key to helping us love ourselves. Because that's part of the growth mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, go back and find those emails. Feel free to reach out if you find anything that you find it would be helpful for other people. One thing I was going to share, I'm not quite done with it yet, but do not be surprised to start seeing emails from me in the next week or so. I'm putting together, I'm almost done with a 3-month chakra balancing program. And this goes along with this whole idea of stress, of mindset, because it's an energetic body-based part of ourselves. And so understanding the chakra system and the different things that we can do to help it. It's not just meditating on a chakra. There are crystals, gems that go with it. There's certain foods. So I've got recipes and so forth that go with it. There's certain movements. There's just a whole wide gamut of things that I'm doing with it. If you ever did, it was about 3-4 years ago, I did a 7-day chakra challenge. And one of the things that was mentioned was 7 days was not long enough. And so I've taken that and I'm expanding it. So keep an eye out for that as well.
Cool.
Anyway, yeah. All right. So again, if something comes up for you, because that also is what happens. It's like we stir the pot here with the class, and after you get off, maybe today, tomorrow, whatever, if questions come up, please feel free to reach out and let me know. And I am here to help.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, it's been good to see you again, Judy.
Yeah, I always forget to put your workshops in my calendar in my phone, and then I come back later and go, when was that? Oh, it was
an hour ago. Yeah, right.
or last weekend, or
Yeah. Well, they're all open for you in my YouTube channel. So
Oh, cool.
it's
You have
either
company.
under, yeah, I have 2 dogs. That's why I don't move much here, because they park themselves right here. And then sometimes the cats will join in. So my animal sanctuary.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, let me see if I'll share my YouTube channel with you just so you can see what it looks like. My channel. And then I'll just share my screen. It's coming. It's working its way. There you go. So my YouTube channel is Lynn DuBois Johnson. And if you did the let's see. I just finished last week a 5-day meditation challenge. So those are there, but they're only open to people. Why? Let's see. There we go. So this is what you would see. So stress and burnout was the last one. Biohacking and energy was before that. The sugar detox diet, top 5 fat burning foods, cognition and memory, 72-hour spring cleanse. So there's lots there that you can go through and play with.
Cool.
So
thank you.
That's what there is. But I'll send an email out with this link, and as soon as we're done.
So the guy who wrote the book, I just I have my phone here, so I searched through old emails. The guy who wrote the thing, the book on self-talk that I remember reading was Dr. Shad Helmstetter.
I've heard that. Yeah. And
He's
what's it
got
called again? Self-talk?
I think it was just self-talk.
Okay.
This particular email is from the Self-Talk Institute.
Oh, there you
I
go.
don't know. I don't remember seeing it before, but that was his thing. But I haven't gotten an email from them in a very long time.
Oh, what's
So
the
I
date
don't
of
know.
that one?
The date of this one is 2021.
Oh, yeah, that's
And I think, so I don't know. But I do remember reading the book and getting on his mailing list and seeing a lot of things he went, but they're probably way, 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 way down in my old emails if I kept them.
right. I'm like that too. Yeah, I see. What to say when you talk to yourself
Oh,
is,
yeah,
yeah. And there's something called Self-Talk Plus. It looks like an app.
an app, yes.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Shad Helmstetter. Cool. Well, now I've got it up. I can see it. Something
Well, it
more
all
for me to
plays,
something more for me to read.
yeah, well, it all plays into the mindset.
It does. It does. I'm currently rereading Atomic Habits, and that this is a part of that is, you make these short-term steps, but it doesn't, you tend not to stick with it if you don't have a reason to,
Yeah.
and that's what it's really about is, and when you're making them, you listen to that internal voice and how you feel as you're listening to that,
Mm,
because you can set goals because they sound wonderful because everybody else is setting these goals, but then you start on it and you maybe quit, but you listening to these voices within yourself, and sure, you can do that. What makes you think you can do that?
uh,
And and that's why I say listen to that voice. Who is really saying that to you? Is that really your voice, or is it another person? Like I said, is it a mother, father, a sibling, a teacher, a friend that once upon a time told you this, and
yeah.
and it's stuck in your body? Emotions is their energy, and they stick in your body like residue,
Mm,
and so they're still there from eons and decades ago.
mm,
And they come, this is when they come up, and that's why it's like, oh, you have awareness. I am having this thought, and you slow down just a bit and say, I wonder what that's about. So rather than saying, well, that's a bad thought and pushing it aside, you look at it, because once upon a time that thought meant something to you.
yeah.
Maybe that thought was protecting you, because if you thought that way about yourself, you weren't going to get hurt. If you
Mm,
kept yourself small, you weren't going to get hurt. So
yeah.
this work is very important, because I see you as a person of worth with something. You're here. You have something to contribute. You have many things to contribute.
Mm-hmm.
But what's more important is that you see that, and and um these emotions, the energy of these emotions are like blocks keeping you from that. It's like that glass ceiling that we often heard about a few decades ago. And it's like, I can't get better if I don't break through that.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Anyway.
All right. Well, now you've got something more to look at. And Laurel, if you if you have any questions, reach out. And like I said, as soon as I get the recording for this all up and ready, I'll send out the recording so you can, if you want to, you can listen to it again. You're very welcome.
Yes, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. So my wish for you is having a good day.
And mine for you.
Thank you. Today is a good day.
All right.
All right. Take care.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.